The gentleman from Oregon reserves. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to yield now 2.5 minutes to the chair of our subcommittee on consumer protection and commerce, who's done such a wonderful job in trying to protect us from these frauds and scams, particularly during the coronavirus. And to her, I'd like to yield 2.5 minutes. Ms. Schakowsky.
The gentlelady from Illinois is recognized for 2.5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very proud that the next 3 bills are bills that have come out of the subcommittee that I chair on consumer protection and commerce. And I absolutely want to thank all of the authors of the legislation, Representative Blunt-Rochester and Wahlberg, and the author of the legislation that was incorporated into this bill, Representatives Deutsch and Bouchon, for their work on the Senior Fraud Protection Act, Representatives Kelly and Marshall for the Protecting Seniors from Emergency Scams, and Representatives Lujan and Gianforte for the Protecting Indian Tribes from Scams Act, and Representative O'Halloran and Hudson for the FTC Collaboration Act. Some of our most vulnerable fellow Americans have been the target and the victim of fraud and scams during the COVID-19 pandemic. Scammers especially target seniors. They exploit fear or confusion during this crisis and emergencies, and prey on seniors' trust and assumption that they will be too embarrassed to finally report scams to the relevant authorities. In 2018 alone, seniors lost almost $400 million to fraud. Another often overlooked target of fraud and scams are the Indian tribes and tribal members. We urgently need to better understand a better understanding of fraud targeted to these communities. And this legislation tackles all of these problems. It establishes a new office that focuses on the prevention of fraud that targets seniors, including fraud against fraudulent marketing materials. And it does address the problem of the tribes that need to be protected also, and the tribal members from the scam. So I am very proud of this legislation and grateful to the many sponsors, and I yield back.
The gentlelady's time is expired. The gentleman from Oregon is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't think there's a more fierce advocate for consumers than the gentlelady who chairs the subcommittee, and she has once again brought solid legislation to the floor. We appreciate her and her team working with us to make this bipartisan, and I urge passage and reserve my time.